Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys.
It's Adelle King and Dr. Christina Meakim here. We were having a conversation, so we thought we'd share it.
How's it going?
We're getting ready to do a class that's coming up really soon that, do you have to do something?
I wanted to, invite people, but I got excited about the buttons.
There's more buttons than there used to be. Settle down,
Okay,
ADD.
focus.
I'm just kidding. Pot calling the kettle black. So,
guys, I'm so excited to tell you about this ridiculous thing that happened to me yesterday.
she is funny.
So we have some classes scheduled coming up, and we had a conversation yesterday, and Meakim was like, hey, do you want to do this thing? Because if you don't want to do this thing, you're really good at killing stuff you don't want to do. And I was like, very true. And so I was like, we've talked a lot about light and heavy, and it was feeling really heavy. And I was like, I know we've done this class before. It's the Hardwired to Win class.
Hi, Mike Harrington. Hi, Jer.
And so I was like, all right, why is it heavy? What's going on? And I was like, I'm just going to start going through the motions and creating this class. And so I opened the manual, and guys, oh my God, the manual is amazing.
Hi, Kim Marisi. We used to write this
She
together.
knows this. She
we wrote the manual
for this.
We
put
We're
it
both
together.
awesome writers.
It has our
We've written a bunch
favorite
of books.
tools. It has this light and heavy tool. It's based on inspiration from this amazing book that we both
backwards.
read and but here.
But it's on FUC asterisk K yourself.
With this sexy gentleman back here.
Gary John Bishop, totally Braille. Totally Braille.
And he talks about how your brain is hardwired to win, and so whatever's showing up in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, you're winning at whatever that is. Somehow that is a form of winning. And I went through, and it's got exercises and questions and tools, and it blew my mind. And I called up Meakim, and I was like, dude, this class is amazing. She's like, yeah, that's why I'm so excited about facilitating it. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, I forgot. I just forgot. We haven't done the class in a while. Maybe I didn't get it the first couple of times.
You get it when you get it, King.
So I did that yesterday. And then today, we have another class right after it. We're calling it a double feature, like the double features at the movies and the drive-in.
How exciting.
And today I did it with the second class, which is the Easy Ask, which is about when you ask and you receive, and the things that you desire can show up easily in your life. And it was all so amazing. And I was like, dude, we're pretty cool.
High five.
High five. It's really cool when you create something and you don't even realize that you created these amazing things. And then you go back, and it's something I've been looking at.
Hi, Larry. Dr. Arbeidman.
In a conversation I had with my mom yesterday, too, where I was, walking around and being all, sad and depressed and woe is me and throwing myself a little pity party. And she's like, dude, stop. You need to pause and acknowledge, how much you've created in your life, and your life is not fucked up, and, just check yourself. And so we had this conversation, and she's like, you just need me to remind you of what a creator you are. And I was like, oh. So this is my my invitation to you guys to come find out about the awesomeness and amazingness.
This is my sweet friend.
And
okay, so who doesn't know how awesome she is?
Yet. Sometimes.
Maybe take some more years, I don't know.
And tomorrow, we're starting off this I wanted to say something.
Our San Francisco tour. Just kidding. We live here.
Thing with a free Ease and Joy taster. And that's part of what makes these tools so amazing, is the way that they create more ease and more joy in your life. Even as simple as when I'm walking from my house to Meakim's house, and I just walk and the lights turn when I get to the intersection, those little things of you pull up and there's a parking spot for you. And also big things like moving to a new city and finding a home that's even greater than you could have imagined, which is kind of what I created 5 years ago when I moved out here, which was part of what my mom was reminding me of yesterday. And or these beautiful beings that you can't wait.
Tiny little kids.
Hold on, I'll show you. Look at this cute little fluffer down here.
Messy.
Sorry. Sorry. You didn't see that.
My house is very cute normally. Hey,
our kids are very cute.
One of the conversations that in the personal work that we do, you notice if something is light for you, it lightens you up. That's true for you. If it makes you heavy, it's a lie or an untruth. So I asked myself, using this tool a lot, how easy am I willing to have my life be? I'll hire somebody and either they're a lot of work.
Willing to have your life be
a lot easier now. And so I would hire people that were kind of a lot of work or it didn't just somehow work out instead of really having it be easy. So I'm hiring people now that are really amazing to show up in all areas of my life. I just look at it like, how much ease are you willing to have in your body, in your bank account? Like, are you willing to have it be easy? Because some of us are still trying to prove something awkward that makes it more complicated.
Yeah, I remember, like, in
Ease,
8th
baby.
grade, like, when I turned 13, I was like, you're not supposed to like your parents anymore. Because it was, like, not cool. And so I, like, went from being really, having a great relationship and really great, like, friendship with my parents to being, like, fighting with my mom. And, like, it was just a choice. I literally remember being like, oh, it's not cool to like your parents. I shouldn't do that anymore. And for years, I would, like, fight with my mom, and it would drive me, and I finally, like, pretty recently, like, within the last 6 months or less, was like, I'm just not doing that anymore. I actually like my parents. I'm not gonna, like, function from this point of view based on, like, what was cool or not in, like, 8th grade. And it's been amazing.
There's a lot of weird things cool in 8th grade, if I remember. Boys were not
God.
cool. You had, like, boy spray, girl spray.
I remember a friend that was, like,
cooties.
sniffing pixie sticks. Weird stuff
That's
happened
awkward.
in 8th grade. So, yeah. And that's the thing, is, like, you decide something at some point. So every fight based on that point of view was me winning at something. Anyway, we don't usually go back and look at these things, and there's a way to change them.
The whole point is, if you notice a limit in your life, sometimes you go back and you sprinkle a little consciousness on it, you look at it and you go, oh, I chose something interesting there, I can choose something else now. Sometimes you do have to go back, sometimes you can just choose differently now. And I love just choosing differently now, but sometimes you have to go back and look at something old and stinky and just make sure to change something around it. I guess the point of all this is, if you're looking for more ease in your life, I think often of a friend of mine who walked up to a conversation of 3 very successful chiropractors who were all complaining about their employees and how they weren't great and how hard it was to find great employees. And my friend said, I'm not going to listen to this conversation because it's easy for me to find amazing doctors and assistants. It's really easy for me. That's what I do. And you can have one of those attitudes of like, oh, it's like hard, and you want to have the conversations with everybody, life is hard, boyfriends are hard, some other money, something. Or you can actually look at what is true for you. First off, is life being hard or money hard or hiring hard, any of that light? No. You know why? It's all made up poo, where you're trying to prove something weird. Like, I was trying to prove that I was a victim. Sorry, hi Cody. If somebody knows me, I'm a potent woman. Like,
I also remember,
victim was funny. So
I also remember, like, my dad worked for the news growing up, and I was like, I refused to watch the news, and I could tell some people had a point of view of like that was like ignorant or whatever, but I was like, if something big happens in the news, I will find out. If somebody mentions something in the news and I don't know about it, then we have a conversation and I learn about it, and we've now had a conversation. And I was like, I just don't want that in my world. Kind of like your friend listened, like, I don't.
He was like,
kind of like, no.
Like, no.
That's how I feel about the news. And I was
agree.
like, no, like, I don't need to hear about everybody that's like all the shit that they talk about on the news. And I always like had a little bit of that judgment of like, oh yes, I live in my little bubble, in my little world where everything is sunshine and daisies. And then I was at an event, at a workshop, and they were talking about like, yes, everybody lives in their own little bubble. It's a bubble of your creation. It's your reality. It's your life, and you get to choose it and create it how you want. It's just a question of like, does your bubble include everything on the news and all the things that are bad in the world or how hard it is? Or is your bubble about like, it's ease and it's joy and the world is full of possibilities and what would I like to create today?
I didn't get, truly, somehow, like how I grew up, like Irish people, I don't know, we're a little nuts, but it was like, they like it to be complicated and to complain about it. I'm from the East Coast baby, and sometimes people like to kvetch. I mean, it's a thing. Hi, Frank Fidella. Yo,
Hi, Frank.
ciao. I mean, no.
Ciao.
I was like, buongiorno. Yeah, people like to kvetch and complain. The thing is, it's just sort of weird because it doesn't change anything. I don't know. And I was a big complainer, so I know. I just looked at it and I went, okay, what would I actually like to choose now? And what do I have to be or do differently to have that? What action steps do I have to take? I'm very action-oriented. And I think, it's funny because, like, us being friends, like, she didn't know you could just do that, sort of.
Well, and my journey was like, I had spent 10 years in therapy dealing with depression and feeling like a hamster on the wheel, like not getting anywhere. And I was like, I know that there has to be more. Like, there has to be a different way of living. Like, if this is it, that's not going to work for me. And I spent 10 years in therapy and like did not feel like I had made significant progress. And I was like, there just has to be a different way. And that was when these tools showed up in my life. And it has been a journey of that. What do I want to create? And I remember noticing when I was in therapy, it was always about the past and what had happened and things that I couldn't change, and other people's, like, there was a lot of like blame and looking backwards, and it wasn't a conversation about, well, what would you like to create? And a lot of times when I said what I would like to create, it was like, well, you can't have that. And I was like, okay, well, then what do I do? Like, I don't know. I just felt really, really stuck in my life. And so these have been tools that were like, well, this is where you are. Now what would you like to choose? What can you choose to create?
What would you like to choose? Here. What would you like to choose?
I always want to go in like...
She does want to eat it. There was like an air pizza.
Food.
So, yeah.
Did you start when you were 12? Pretty close. A few years after that, but yeah,
you're such a sweet man.
Thanks.
You know, you may know we're both from the East Coast. It's New York and Philly, so we love to talk over each other. You know, now that we moved to California, you don't do that here. It's really funny. I have to stop and listen. The fun back home was to, I'm going to say it, break balls and talk over each other and create that way. You know, I had to learn how to stop doing that as a doctor.
Yeah. So, yeah, if any of this speaks to you, if you guys are looking for something different, if you know something greater is possible and haven't been able to quite get there or figure out how to make it happen, these tools are amazing and also like magical, but also really practical and really like applicable in your everyday life. You don't need to like go meditate in a cave for a year in order for them to work or create change in your life.
Figuring out what is true for you is very easy when you have these tools. It was for me. I was looking for something like this. My parents are both psychologists. I mean, I did all kinds of personal work seminars for years. And then I found this and I was like, oh, I can just like know what's true for me because it lightens me up, or know what is a lie for me because it makes me heavy.
I just want to caveat on what I said about the therapy, the 10 years of therapy. I'm not saying that therapy is not good or doesn't have a place or it isn't useful. It got me to where it got me, and then it just wasn't getting me further. So it's not to say anything about therapy. It worked for me for the period of time. And then I found something that just went so much further and faster. It was so much more fun, and I got to meet these amazing people. So
that's how we met, Access Consciousness.
And you can join us online from anywhere in the world, or come play in person.
We're having our Ease and Joy Taster tomorrow night. It is live in my office at 6:30 at 101 Clement Street in San Francisco, or you can join online. She's going to post, she's very quick at all that, she's going to post the link for that class.
And our double feature with our two amazing manuals that I rediscovered yesterday.
That is not this Saturday, but the next.
June 15th. Also, you can join us live or online, and we would love to have you and come play and go on this fun adventure. And yes, Frank is one of the fun people we met through Access Consciousness.
Yepers. I just think the Ease and Joy Taster is a nice way for people to just check it out, see if it's something that kind of pings you. I like the lighter I get emotionally, the more ease it is to be with people. We were talking about how present we can be with people now. I spent most of my life not present.
Well,
I'm sure where I was either in the past or the future, but being here now is where the magic is and where you can actually choose.
And I used to hate that phrase. I was like, no, I don't want to be here now. Like,
I thought it sounded like a lot of work, actually.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, what? No. Whereas, like, if you can actually be present with everything and not be at the effect of it, not have to react to any of it, and actually have space and ease and choice in every moment with every person, with whatever shows up, how much freedom is there in that? And what a gift that is to you, but also to the world, to everyone that interacts with you from that space.
To be that space of no judgment and allowance for them to be them is a gorgeous and sexy thing, frankly. There's an Eckhart Tolle quote that I posted recently. There was something about that similar thing. When you're that space of presence and consciousness, everything happens around you and you just receive it and you're not affected by any of it. And I still get affected by things sometimes in my office when I'm running behind. Patients will watch me get stressed, and my main target in life is to be able to be present and happy and be with them and do whatever it takes to create that. So,
and that the founder of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas, his definition of consciousness is being able to receive everything without any judgment with total presence. So similar concept. So
well, my favorite story, I'm just gonna say my favorite story, I'm gonna say the dog
Yes.
shit one. Sorry, it's Philly's in the house. But that one, the inventor of access consciousness, there's a thing where he didn't like dog poop, so he would like every
yes.
time, you know, because he's a little fancy. So
no, he didn't every time. He didn't actually like even see it, so he would step in it all the time because he didn't want to receive it. So
the energetic awareness of that it existed, he didn't want to like know.
He was like, I don't want to have dog shit in my world. Like, I don't want to receive that.
And yet it's there.
And so he would step in it all the time, and then finally he was like, oh, okay, like, I could just receive it, and then you get to have choice. So instead of stepping in it because he wasn't aware of it, he could walk around it, he could switch to the other side of the road, he could do any other thing.
Go in the opposite direction.
Besides step in it. So it gives you a lot of freedom when you're willing to receive, when you're willing to be present. And we'd love to invite you to these tools. So come play with us.
Hardwired to Win an Easy Ask on the 15th. It's a magical class. It changed my life.
And the free Ease and Joy taster tomorrow. So
because Ease and Joy is really yummy.
And we hope to see you soon.
Have a wonderful Wednesday, peeps.
Bye, guys.